Okay. We are live. This is Jim Miller, your host, and this is the Bold Leadership Story Show, where we talk about experiences shaping exceptional lives. And let me put myself on here for a sec. Here we go. Uh, Still getting used to this stuff. It'll probably be 10 years before I figured it out, and then we'll go on to something else. But on this show today, we get to speak with Jana.
Jana.
And how do you say your last name, Jana? I forgot.
Jana Walchle. Jana
Walchle. So, and Jana, I'm just going to bring you on because I've already messed this up. So, Jana Walchle, and we're live. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. We're everywhere.
We are everywhere. We are.
We're going to have an amazing conversation. Jana has a great background. I met you through a group that we've just finished launching and achieved #1 bestseller for a book called Trajectory.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that yet. First of all, we're going to talk about Jana and give you in our audience a little bit of an inkling about what she brings to the table in terms of her experience and her leadership and the stories that she's got. So this is going to be a very impactful, very worth your time episode to spend some time with Jana today. And not just if you're in real estate. Jana's owned a real estate business for 45 years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just amazing just in that. But just there's tons of stories. And then she's got a chapter she wrote in this book. She and her co-wrote, she and her partner,
business partner.
Yeah. We wrote a chapter in the book, and it's fascinating. So, but here's a bit about Jana. She's been a successful business owner of Canyon Country Realty for over 40 years. And she says business is done 98% by referrals, and that you've sold to the second and third generations of the same family.
Yes.
That says a lot right there. So if you're in real estate, that's definitely something to emulate and figure out how to do yourself.
Yeah.
She's experienced market downturns, learned from each one, and come back stronger. Four that happens a lot in real estate. It's like boom, boom, boom. So
4.
Good at that. Yeah.
And we're still here.
One more and you'll be an expert, right?
I barely missed this last one.
Well, yeah, it's
Well,
now they're finally reducing the interest rate. So that
yay.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that'll help. That will help.
It really helps to be a very experienced realtor, negotiator, and listing agent to know what is the best for your buyers and sellers and investors. Absolutely. The real estate business has changed in how we use technology with clients. But, and here's the big but, I love this part. It's what has not changed with clients is that the personal attention that you give each one. And it's all about the love, right? It's all about the love. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. So you've been through a ton, and your business has gone up and down. You've got 3 kids, and do you have any grandkids yet on the way? 5 grandkids. Okay. You got the whole crew.
Yeah. So.
And you've weathered 4 storms. What's your secret now? What would you say to someone in terms of, we weathered these storms? So like you say in the book, I'm going to tease the book a little bit here.
Okay.
You say in the book, it's like, wow, life was good. I was married with 3 children, my husband, Richard, and my real estate business was booming. We owned 5 rental houses, and we were still in our 30s. That's amazing. 3 of those houses would be paid for by the time our children went to college. Okay, so you're long-term thinkers, allowing us to pay for private Christian college in cash. Yep. So cash money, baby. My daughter went to Point Loma, and it was $130,000
Oh,
to get a nursing degree, a 4-year degree. Yeah,
oh.
that's
Our,
I mean, my
so,
house costs less than that.
so Jim, our 3 children graduated from Point Loma,
Oh,
Nazarene
really?
University. You didn't know that, did you?
Well, you said you took them to private Christian college, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great school.
It's a good college, it's a good college. So, but we had to redo the money once we lost those houses, but then we remade it. So
Yeah. So you say life was good, and then you said then it was not.
ooh, no.
So and I can only imagine what that not and it's in big
Not,
letters not. So
not. Yeah, we
but
lost it. That was the first downturn in real estate back
yeah.
then. You're right. We were long-term thinkers. We were long-term, knowing that we wanted our children to go to college. We talked to that since they were in kindergarten.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was
my
always,
parents did that with me too.
yeah, always on the agenda. And then how we were going to pay for it because it was private. That was, this is how we're going to do it. What vacations do we want to take? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And basically we did have those rental houses, and then real estate took the first dive that we went through. And that was, interest rates went to what, 13-14%. You think it's bad now, it was bad then. And
well, my first house,
we lost
when
it.
we bought it in what was it, in 81,
Okay.
it was 17.5% on an
Yep.
all-inclusive trust deed.
Yep.
ITD wraparound, and it did 17.5% interest. So I had 13%. Yeah, that's big, but
Yeah,
baby, you don't have any idea what 17.5 is.
I know.
When it's like, oh man,
Yeah,
the house payment was crazy.
true. And so people lost. They lost their houses. People lost jobs. They quit paying the rent. And when they quit paying the rent,
Right. What year was that?
Oh, the first one was in the 80s.
Okay.
It was in the 80s. Yeah. Because I got my license in 79. So we started acquiring through the 80s, but I would say maybe 80, I want to say 88, 89.
Yeah, because we had bought our first house. It was 950 square feet. We paid 117.5 in Mission Viejo for it. 2-bedroom, 1 3/4 bath.
Yeah.
And it had, it was a big garage. It was a decent yard. It was a good house.
Oh, sure.
And 6 months after we bought it, the market tanked, and the value went from 117.5 down to 95,000.
Oh.
So we were stuck basically. And it took about 5.5 years for that baby to come back, and I kicked myself we didn't keep it.
But hindsight is 2020.
Yeah,
right.
Always.
When I got my own stories, Jim, about what I shoulda, woulda, coulda kept, not sold, bought. I'm in real estate, and I should know better.
So how did you have the foresight? Most real estate agents that I know don't own real estate. They buy it or they sell it, but they're not investors.
Isn't that, what? That is sad, but you're right, Jim.
So what was it that
go through the
pushed
money
you over into that world?
Yes. Yeah. I think because we thought long term, because I knew that you have that rental income to support Social Security. It's a supplement. Social Security was never meant to be a livelihood. And if your income is at a certain level, you have to have something that's going to keep coming in to support that lifestyle that you have enjoyed and you want to keep. The only way to do that is buy a rental house, pay it off, and then the rental income is that supplemental. And if you have more than one, you have additional streams, or if you buy an apartment building, you have all of that. And yes, you do have cost associated with it, but it's very small compared to the monthly rental that you get in.
So it puts you into a position of being, from a mindset standpoint, you're not a a bystander anymore. It's a business.
Right. Right.
And so you have to
But
treat it like that, right?
yes. And because we lost those homes, it took us a while to get back, like get up back on the horse. You heard that expression, you
Sure.
fall off the horse, you get back on the horse. It took us a little while, but we were young enough to get back on that horse and start in again. And because I'm in the business, I would see things and I would tell my clients, if you don't buy this, I think I'm going to. I'm going to tell you this is a good deal, but if you don't want it, then I think I'm going to do it. And so that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And
How does
invest.
that make them feel?
Well, they knew that I wasn't lying to them. Like it's not the old realtor, trust me
Right.
on this,
Right. Yeah.
And because I would sell them what I would want myself. And I was very honest with my clients. And I'd say, that's not good. I don't think this is a good one for you. Let's keep looking. Let's find you what you really want and what works. That's probably why we had clients that became good friends and why they would refer, because we did our business was by referral. I didn't have big billboards out. I didn't have big ads in the paper, but we did have a continual client base that referred their friends and family to us. And that's better than anything. And in your chapter, I love how you talk about relationships and how you built relationships that then one of them was the tipping point for your business. That one manager that did it. And that is a key to business. It's not just the numbers, is it, Jim?
Definitely not. I think, one deal can make your life if you, and it's this one you're talking about was that one deal for me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was, you can look back on it and say, wow, he's lucky, or
No. Oh no, yeah. Luck is hard work.
yeah, it was that the opportunity meets preparation, right? So
That's it.
it's
Yeah.
how are you creating that opportunity
Yeah.
for yourself, and what is it that you're doing in the dark every day,
Uh-huh.
pounding the stone, like the sculptor does. They pound the stone 100 times before they chip off a piece of the marble, and it's that 75th pound that your muscles are sore and tired, and you're just like you're about ready to give up, and that's 80 pounds, and then 90 hits on that stone and on that chisel, and finally at 99, you don't know what's going to happen, but bam, one more and pop, you get what you want, and it's like
Right.
that.
Right.
And then the 99 you did, all the soreness, it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how would that affecting you, that process? How did you get through those 99? Because I know you did that.
We did, because we did go through 4 downtimes. So the first one was a really, really good learning experience. We learned, well, we lost everything. We were in debt. And we both had to learn how to get out of debt, stay out of debt, begin saving, have several different savings accounts. One's for obviously your expenses. The other one was for fun. Don't forget fun. You have to have fun and trips.
Yeah, I
But
saw that, and you're just like, yeah, that's important.
you have to have fun, but you save for it and you put that money aside so that you don't pay for the fun afterwards. You pay for the fun up front. And then it's
really?
fun. Yeah.
You don't put that on a credit card?
No. I mean, the airplane tickets, you had to do that at the time, but no, we set aside, once we had the cash, once we had it in the savings, then we'd say, okay, let's go to Hawaii. I mean, we took our kids, well, we were in California, so it was easier, but we took our children to Hawaii four times, 3 kids, all 5 of us. But we had it paid for at the beginning. So then we didn't have to come back to a debt or worry, how are we going to pay it off if the market changed or whatever. And then we saved for the rental houses. And we saved until we had enough. And then we would buy a property. And back then FHA would let you own 4 rentals, owning FHA, which was the cheapest interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only 3.5% down, which was nice. And then they changed it to 15, and then they changed it to 20. And I think now, if you're going to be an investor, it's 25% to be an investor and to own it like that, which takes me into my business partner, Leland, because she came along and she's in the chapter with her story of group investing, how she did it with her family first. And then as she had friends, key friends, and we got to know each other, you can buy more with less money if you do it in a group. And I liked that.
So what's the difference between that and a syndication?
Well, we do put it in an LLC.
Okay. Limited liability
corporation. Limited liability corporation.
And you can start those. Anybody can start an LLC, but in California, there's a fee. I think the last I checked was like $800 a year.
Something
minimum.
Yeah.
Or you can have your LLC structured in another state. Some states are more expensive and some are less. Right.
I think Nevada is almost like it's the cheapest one if you do it through a Nevada corporation. But
there's a caveat in California, isn't there?
Yeah.
If your properties are mostly in California, then California's going to demand that you pay them the fee.
Yeah, we quit. We only have one in California now, and we went to other states. So
they're smart.
Yes, because you have to have a state that's not. You want them that's landlord protective. I mean, the victim thing. Obviously, we're not slumlords or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when property rights are not important to the state anymore, then it's like that's not good for an investor. An investor is actually good for real estate and good for property, but they have a bad reputation right now. And I don't know why. I'm not sure why that happened and what can be
done. Probably because they were making profit.
What a concept.
Right?
What? Make a profit? What?
Yeah, you're making too much money. Okay. But I'm taking all the risk and I'm putting my money up.
Yeah.
This could fall back and bite me in the butt, and you're not going to worry about that, except you're going to keep getting your tax cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the property value goes up, and you get property taxes, and you get all the bringing in people from maybe out of state, and they're paying for their food and clothing and buying cars and university educations here in the state, and all that has tax money implications. But still, I'm on my soapbox here. They attack the ones that are making the money. They're somehow privileged.
And you know what? I will tell you, because where we sold had a high Hispanic population, and wow, they know about owning rental. They know they want to own America. They want a piece of land in America.
I love that.
And they passed it on.
I wish more people who were born here felt that way.
It was great. So they knew the value of owning property, and they're awesome. I like your pin. That's nice. That's nice.
That's America.
Yeah. So we had a lot of Hispanic clients, and they were just wonderful. And like I think I was telling you earlier, we got invited to baptismals and quinceañeras, but we would sell to the 3rd and 4th generation of the same family, because you build trust. And I think in business, trust is something you really want to build. And I know you built it with your client base. And that's what Richard and I did. We built trust with people, and they knew they knew they were in safe hands if we were helping them.
So what does that mean on a day-to-day basis for
Okay.
someone who's been doing that for so long?
Okay.
What does that mean to build trust?
It's being honest with them and being saying, even if you need the money, saying, don't buy this. Don't buy this. Knowing you're not going to get a commission if they're not buying anything. But the bottom line is, that's not a good thing for them to do. That it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right property. They were asking too much. This is when you could still negotiate. And as far as day to day, that's a good question, Jim. And what I was really known for was dropping little gifts off to my clients at their doors. Now I call it real estate crap, but there is a word for it. It's called pop buys. I learned it through Buffini and Company, which was a coaching company I was with for 20 years. And they really encouraged you to call your clients, find out how they're doing, see what are the kids doing now. We went to baseball games. We would go to parties. We had a client party every year and invited them to our house. So it was that one-on-one relationship that we built and kept.
Yeah. But it's, I think, still important today, even more so probably because of the
Yeah.
separation we have, the opportunities that we take advantage of using technology like this and not be face to face. It's still very important to get off your duff and get out and see people face to face.
Yeah, it was always interesting. I'd call people and they're like shocked. It's like, oh, there's a live voice, Now, some people if they only wanted to be texted or emailed, I respected that.
Sure.
But there were others. It was like, and if you drop by their house and they're like, oh, it's good to see you, and you'd have that. Or maybe, if I left something, I would definitely take a picture of it and text it so they know I was there in case it got stolen.
Right.
But we just did that over and over and over again. And that's, I think, why we survived for 40 years. That's pretty rare in real estate to survive that long.
Yes, it's rare in a business. It's rare in marriages. It's rare in everything.
I worked with my husband.
And you guys are still married and have 5 grandkids. What a legacy that you've built.
Yeah, people would say, how can you work with your husband? We really are opposite. I mean, we truly are opposite. And I thought I would say to them, well, you get married because you can't live without him, right? You just love him and you can't live without him and you want to get married. So what's wrong with working with him? If you want to be with him, then you're with him. But we did establish boundaries. So we knew how each of us worked. And he might have somebody that said, I really don't want to work with Jana. She's too aggressive, and are loud. And then I might have somebody would say, I really want to work with you because Richard just doesn't seem like he's really going to go after it for me. So it was great because we could help both sets.
That's great. Make a good team.
But we knew it, and we did not get upset over it. And I will tell you, we would have men. Now, I was licensed in the late 70s. And also when I went to college, I would take these business courses and I might be the only young lady in business. I wasn't taking typing. I was taking business courses. Mm-hmm. So I didn't, if a man came in and wanted to speak to Richard, I didn't get upset about it. I just didn't. Because I know there's certain cultures that would want to deal with a man. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me. I wasn't on a soapbox. They were important, and what they wanted counted more at that point. It was going to go into the same checkbook. Right? So why should I get upset about that? you know?
So it sounds like what your focus wasn't on getting the sale. It was about helping the client or prospect move along in their journey and get a
Right,
success
right,
and adding
right.
value there somehow, right?
Yes.
Sounds
And
like
yes, and there were people that we would say, you need a trust. We're still nagging some of our clients about, you need to put this in a trust, you need to put this in a, did you get a will done? Have you taken care of other business issues with that goes along with owning the house? You know, so we just felt like they were all, it was all encompassing with us.
yeah. We've got a shout out from a good friend of mine, Mr.
Oh,
Bob Donnell. Do you know Bob?
the name sounds familiar. Do I know him through the?
He says, "Hi guys."
Oh, Bob! Hi!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! How are you, Bob?
He's like, good to see you here.
Oh, good to see you,
He
Bob.
hopped
How are
in.
you doing? You
Yeah.
look good. If that's your picture, you look good, Bob.
Yeah.
I
I,
knew Bob years ago. So I'm the same. Am I not the same, Bob? Huh?
all right. I'm not sure if he's still there. I'm a little bit tardy on catching his comments, but
Oh,
um,
yes.
yeah, maybe he's still watching. That'd be great. Maybe we'll bring him on if I can.
Oh,
But
he's a great one. Is he still coaching, doing business coaching? He
yeah,
was.
I think so. Yeah, I'm hopping into some of his calls during the week and
Oh, he's
really
a
enjoy that experience. Speaking of that, I wanted to ask you. You had mentioned a company that you were working with for 20 years
mhm.
that was helping you with real estate. How important is that for that company that's long term thinking, having that coach or consultant there to help you make those decisions and give you guidance and some perspective?
That's a really good question. And coaching, we started coaching in 1999. Ah, Bob, thank you. I am still the same. And you are great. So everybody tune in to Bob too. Give him
Yeah,
a
for
shout
sure.
out. Give him a shout out. Um, 1999, and my husband actually started with this coaching company. It was a real estate coaching company. It was smaller then. My question was, why do we need a coach? We can go to seminars, we can go to conferences, and it's they said, Jana, every great athlete has a coach. Tiger Woods has a coach. And I'm like, really? Tennis players have coaches. The Olympic athletes have coaches. Why would you not want a coach? Because they see what you cannot see, and they can give you insight that you don't even know you need.
Right.
We started it. Richard did it for 2 years, and he actually was. I wouldn't say he's not coachable, but it was just kind of more not his thing that turned into more my thing. And I took it up in 2001 and stayed with it for 20 years. And I do believe it was very, very beneficial because I didn't see things about me that I needed to see, and it would show me and help me set goals, keep looking for the long term, doing the relationships with my clients. And we did that anyway, but they perfected it. We learned how to do it, and systems. Totally didn't have any systems, and the coaches helped us with the systems that we used. And
So was it an investment?
oh, sure. Oh, an investment. If you're not investing in yourself, you need to, I don't know, change jobs or something, but you need to invest in yourself, and that takes money. But the return on investment was, you know, well worth it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I found that too. It's like adding. It's like having that expertise to save you. It saves you tons of time and energy and mistakes and going around in circles, you know,
Exactly.
and somebody
Exactly.
to smack you upside the head and say, "Hey, stupid. That
Yeah.
was not the right thing to do." To have a good enough relationship where they can do that.
Well,
Is
they gently kind of push you along. Now, Jim,
right.
you're doing the bold leadership stories. Are you yourself coaching anybody? Are you mentoring anybody? How's that?
I'm mentoring mostly myself right now, and Bob is actually helping with everythingnextlevel.com. That's Bob Donnell's
Oh, good.
website. So go check that out. Jana said for me to put it up, so I'm
Yes, put it
giving
up.
Bob a shout out with that.
Yes,
So yeah.
yes.
Actually, I'm with a group right now that I'm enjoying the association with. It's called Bright Business Project, and I'm
Oh,
doing
okay.
another video brought podcast called the Bright Business Talk Show,
Okay.
and we have purpose-driven conversations about business and
Oh, good.
and
That's good.
it's been a lot of fun. We're doing that once a week on Mondays.
Wow. I think
And
you do need, um, there's a verse in the Bible that says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Took me a while to understand the concept of that, but I taught a leadership class at our board of realtors for 7 years, and it was so true. You have to keep on keeping on, getting better, and it's the people you associate with that raise you up, if they challenge you. And if you need that, if you're going to keep growing, if you're going to keep learning. And I think in an organization that you're in definitely does that. So good for
yeah,
you.
it's fun to have be in a position where my whole emphasis for my whole reason for being there is to try to add as much value as I can, be useful, as
Yes.
Benjamin Franklin was used to saying.
Right, right,
It's
right.
like I want to be useful, so I'm putting myself into positions where that can happen. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. And I think younger people would like to be mentored. I don't know if they don't know how to ask or if they are. So if anybody young is watching this program today, do not hesitate to ask somebody who's gone before you and has the time now to mentor you, to talk with you, to be with you, to show you maybe what you can't see or what you need to know or you need to learn to do even better than what you're doing now. So don't hesitate to ask somebody.
Yes, amazing advice. I love that. It's so important. And I didn't do that for a large part of my career, and it's cost me a lot, So
Yeah.
now,
You mean, Jim, as far as like you asking for somebody, asking for help or asking to be mentored, you did not do that?
no, not enough. I asked a couple of early in my career. I read a book or somebody say you need a mentor, so I just like I'd go ask somebody that I respected. Hey, I need a mentor, and they're like, go away, kid. I don't
Oh,
have time for you. And
yeah.
I didn't have enough chutzpah, or I don't know what, to stick with it and keep looking.
Yeah.
But
But now are you giving back now? I bet if somebody young said to you, Jim, I'd like to pick your brain, you would be so open to helping them.
sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what I know. And I do that. I say, hey, I'll tell you what I think. You ask me a question, I'll tell you what I think, or sometimes I'll just tell you what I think. And you can take it or leave it and do with it what you want. And there's no strings attached. It's like, well, I'll just tell you. I'll give you my opinion, and you can take it or leave it. And that's how I like to do it. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes people appreciate that, and sometimes they don't.
I always preface mine when they say, and they say, what do you think about this? And I ask them, do you really want my opinion? Or have you made up your mind already? Do you really want an honest opinion or not? Do you want me to follow through with this or not? So before we even get into my comments, they have to think hard about if they want to hear it. And that sets them back a little bit, but they think then. And then they're more receptive to hearing if they are truly asking and it's not flippant. There's a difference, What do you think about this? Do you really, really want me to tell you or not? Or do you have your opinion made already?
Yeah. Are you open to it? That's really important.
Yeah. So
you mentioned at the beginning of our talk here that you set boundaries.
With my husband?
Yeah. Can you kind of expand on that a bit?
That's a good one. We would just know, like, we were not the kind that had both of our pictures on the same card. You know how some of the people have their picture, their mom and their dad or whatever. No, we operated with different people that would go into a shared database that we would follow up with and be good. And obviously, when we'd have parties at our house, we would have both sets. So we got to know each other and the client base got to know us. But he just is different from me, quieter, more, just a quieter person. And we understood that. Now, if I had to step in and work with one of his clients, I would tone myself down out of respect for them and not wanting to put them off. I would adapt. And I believe that he would do the same with mine. He would maybe bring up a little more enthusiasm or a little more activity or a little more conversation. So we learned how to adjust and the boundaries. And we would go home and we'd talk real estate. But then there came a time it's like, nah, we're done. We're done with business for tonight. Let's talk about other things. Or we'd go home and, when our kids were little, well, okay, now we got to go to soccer. Now we got to go to baseball. Now we got to go, to church, or what else do we have to do? And it would stop. And I think we just adapted well to each other because we are celebrating, I believe we just celebrated 54 years this year. Yeah. Yeah. And we haven't killed each other.
We're still smiling, yeah.
And we're still having fun.
So speaking of the fun, that's a big deal because you mentioned that a couple of times in your chapter.
Oh yeah, I like to have fun. I do.
So what is it that you two or your family does for fun? How is that? How do you express that in your family and in your family culture?
Oh well, let's see. We took vacations together. That was always a fun thing to go.
What was your favorite place to go? Was it
Hawaii? Hawaii.
What island did you go to?
Yeah, it's and people don't understand it's a great place to take kids. There's really a lot for children to do there. It's not all laying on the beach in your bikini, which I would never do anyway, but there is just a lot of stuff to do. So Hawaii, any place we could do. We did go camping a couple of times. We went water skiing. Thanks, Bob, for the 54 years. You remember Richard too. And he is different from me, isn't he? He's quiet. So, but we would just have fun. He's, a good fun guy. He might be quiet, but he is a lot of fun. So now we wait for our kids to say, hey, do you want to go with us here? Do you want to go here? Like we just got back from going to Great Wolf Lodge in Washington, the state of Washington. There's a Great Wolf Lodge. And if you've not been, go. They're a lot of fun. Couple of days, big water park, indoor water park. And, and then another, what the, are you congratulating the 54 years, huh?
Yeah, this is Lisa Laree.
Hi. That's great.
Lisa's my girlfriend, and she's a professional ballerina.
Oh, where is she?
She's right here in Temecula.
Really? Wow. Where does she perform?
Well, she's actually right now she's teaching at Academy of Ballet Arts in Marietta, and then she's writing a book, and she's getting set to perform her story live on stage in
Where?
classical ballet. Well, everywhere. Uh, so she'd be, her goal
Oh,
is to be back on stage in about a year and a half.
how
So
wonderful, Lisa. Congratulations. You set a goal and you're going for it. Good
yes,
for you. Good for you. I'm a big goal setter. I'm a big, yeah. Yeah. Set those goals and go for it.
yeah. So it's like the success begets success.
Well, it does, and sometimes I was at Toastmasters this morning and told a little story about a little red rooster that used to come over into we had 2 acres with little hens.
Uh-huh.
Ah, the little red rooster was next door and he'd look over at my little hens and he'd want over there. And
Ah.
I'd kick him out, bam, he'd keep coming again. And then off he'd go. And one day he came over, and just as I was stepping out the door to bam him again and send him home, he's like, he's a rooster in puberty, is what he was. But the hens all scattered and they hid, and the hawk, I didn't know that, but a hawk flew down right over my head and didn't get anybody. And I said, "Ooh, little red rooster, okay, you've earned a place in my flock. You come on over." And I said, persistence pays. How many times have we tried something and then bam, right? And you have to keep coming back even after you get bammed, because the one time it's going to pay off, and then you get what you wanted. He got the hens.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story. I love that.
So set your goals and you think about that little red hen, that about the hen, but the little red rooster.
Little
You
red
think about
rooster.
him. Yeah.
Oh man. I love that. Tell a little red rooster story.
Tell the little red rooster. Yeah.
It has so much application in our lives, doesn't it?
Well, it does. It it
Yeah.
it really does. And he wasn't accomplishing what he wanted in his own yard because there was enough roosters over there and they already had their hens. But he could look through the chain link fence at my hens, and he thought, now that's where I need to be.
He
And
was he was there at the right moment to
and he figured out
all the
how to
warnings sound and day to
he
day, and you happen to be there watching, and he's like, yes.
he figured out how to escape from his yard to get into my yard.
Shangri-La.
Anyway, that's my persistence story. That little red rooster taught me about persistence.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, and let's talk about the book trajectory that we
Okay.
kind of touched on earlier. So I'm gonna bring the book up here.
Okay.
Tell me what was your reason for getting involved with this? First of all, what is trajectory to you, and why did you participate?
Well, I participated for one reason. I do know Scotty, and he was the driving force. He has a story in there, and I know Scotty through Toastmasters in California. And his story, and he has more stories than what's in that book, and I hope he continues to write his story.
Mm-hmm.
But the purpose of it was show people what happened. You can decide in life, is this going to make me or break me? And when we lost all the property and we were so in debt, we had to decide we got to go in a different direction. Now, we didn't leave real estate, but we knew that we had to get out of debt. So we learned how to get out of debt. And it's in the book, how you actually can systematically get yourself out of debt and stay out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had to come back to buying real estate because we were in real estate. And it's silly if you are in real estate and you don't own property. And we began to do that. And then in my connection with Leland, I loved her group concept with her family, and then it expanded to friends. And I loved that you didn't need $100,000 to buy a rental property. You could buy it with 10, 20, 30 or more if you had it, and be either an equity partner or be the loan, own the loan, be the loan partner. I love that concept. And I asked her to speak about it at a few times, and she and I had a couple of webinars about it that was very well received. And it's a concept that I don't think is explained very well. And so we do an explanation together about it and how it works. And so I asked her to go in with me on it. So I would say that our story is not maybe as traumatic as some of the others, although losing all your money and all your property, that was pretty traumatic for us.
Yeah.
But picking yourself up and get out of it and get out of it successfully. See, there's a difference. You can get better or you can get bitter, and it's just one letter that makes a difference.
Say that again, one more time.
When you go through hard times, you can get better with an E, or you can get bitter. And that's only one letter in there that makes the difference. So choose your letter. Excellent. And we decided we wanted to get better and not get bitter.
So if somebody wanted to purchase this book, I'm actually, I have a chapter in the book as well. So
it's good. I read it. It's good. It's good, Jim. You are a hard worker, and you built those relationships that did that tipping point and that trajectory for you. It's there, and I hope people catch that on your chapter. You built a relationship that turned the tide.
Yeah, I think that you're an example of that as well. You know, it's having that 45 years of a business and marriage, 54 years of marriage, 5 grandkids, three kids, 5 grandkids. I mean, to me, that says it all right there.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's building those relationships and staying in for the long game.
Yes.
And working out the details and setting your boundaries and living to those high standards you set for yourself.
Right.
Is critical. So in this book Trajectory, there's 17 of us that wrote chapters, and it's on Amazon. And we actually got, when we published it, we received the #1 category for sales in 2 categories, and we're bestsellers now.
Yeah, we are.
Pretty exciting. So this book, what I tell people is, you got to get this book. It's full of amazing ideas. You'll meet some incredible people like Jana, and you'll get an opportunity to learn and experience some real challenges, overcome some emotion that it'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh, it'll bring out every single emotion you've got in these 17 stories. It's all there. It's like a Hemingway novel all in one thing. And so it's on Amazon, and you can pick it up for pennies. I think well, I don't know how much it is, but it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever the cost is, buy 2 and give 1 away. You'll never regret it. Give 1 away that can be shared.
Jim, think of it like this. I think it's $16.95, and if there's 17 chapters, oh my goodness, for $1 a chapter, what a deal!
Right? I love that.
That's just $1 to read a good chapter, an uplifting chapter about people's lives. And
beautiful.
You just never know. I heard an old expression years ago that said, when somebody passes away, it's as though a book was burned, because it's gone. But there's 17 people here that open their lives and say, this is what I went through. You can get through what you're getting through. So
yeah, encouraging, inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there. So
it is good.
pick up a copy of Trajectory, and I've got we got some funds coming, I guess, from the initial sale, and I'm
Oh,
going to donate mine.
oh, that's where are you going to donate? Who to?
I'm going to give it to one of the nonprofits here in the Temecula Valley.
Oh, oh, awesome. Awesome. Do you know which one? Or you're
Yeah,
just thinking about
it's
it?
100 women who care.
100. Oh, that sounds so good. Is that?
Yeah, they raise money
Yes.
for nonprofits here in the Temecula Valley. That's their whole function,
Yes. That's
and it's an
wonderful.
amazing group of
Yeah.
ladies that do so much here in the. And I just want to do a little part
Yeah. Yeah.
excuse me,
That's
that I
awesome.
can to kind of
Uh-huh.
help them along if I
Yeah.
can. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That is wonderful. I did I oh, I didn't know we made money.
oh, you did. I got your share coming. Yeah, so,
No, that's great
not a lot, but it's pretty
that,
cool.
that you can make money. So, Jim, what's your future goals? What do you have for your future?
Oh, I've got so much going on. But you know what? This show isn't about me today. It's all about you.
Oh,
So
but I love a good conversation, Jim. I love that. So,
yeah, me too. Thank you. I appreciate
mhm,
that. And it's
yeah.
like, and so Bob,
I'm
just
on the
congrats
book.
to me and Jana too. So
Yeah,
thank you, Bob.
yeah.
Let's see. I'm working on. I've got this podcast, Bold Leadership Stories. I have the Bright Business talk show that I'm doing, and I just started a third one. And so those three things are really taking up a lot of my bandwidth right now. Plus, I'm working on my health. I've got some health issues. I'm dealing with
Oh,
pre-diabetic
oh,
situation, so I'm working
okay.
on getting that under control.
Oh, do that. That's important.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's been
Yeah.
exciting
Yeah.
adventure. And then and the third podcast that I'm doing is called the Wealthy Healthy Live Show, and
Oh,
I'm going to focus. I'm going to do a hyper local market, and I'm focusing on the first segment being all about single moms and single parents. And so I'm interviewing single moms right now, and the first one I did was Lisa Marie, who
okay.
you met, and she's been a single mom for a number of years, and so she told her story, and that's up on the YouTube page now. And then
Oh,
the next one I'm going to do is Kimberly Davidson, and she's a single mom who's very successful here in town. She works at the city in Wildemar,
okay.
and she's an amazing, dynamic, lovely woman that has kids, a single mom, and just dealing with all of that. So I want to share that story, share her story, and I'm looking for other single moms that I can bring on the show and talk about their
Yeah.
situation. I think
Oh,
they're a kind of an underserved group, not kind of, but definitely, in my view, an underserved group.
yes. Yeah.
They work so hard, women more than the guys. I know there's single parent guy families too,
Sure.
but they tend to make more money,
Okay.
and they don't have as much financial issues, and they're
Yeah.
so yeah, we're going to talk about that and kind of focus on their stories here in the Temecula Valley and see if we can create a conversation about that here.
So that
um,
is that is so interesting because Leland, the business partner that wrote with me, she was a single mother, recently
okay.
divorced. She went through some financial times too,
Hmm.
and then began to do this group investing first with her sister and different families. It's a good way for a single mother, single women, because some of them we put we put them into the houses as like owner occupied. They become part of the loan, and if they become owner occupied, one, they get a better rate, right? You get a better rate
Hmm.
if you have an owner occupant as one of the investors. So it actually, what the group investing, it would be a wonderful thing for your single moms and women to learn about, to do about.
Okay.
So that might be something you want to do in the future. The group investing. Because
Maybe we'll have to have you and Leela on.
Yeah.
Leland,
Yeah.
on talk about that and your experiences with it and helping out single moms doing that. And
Right.
sounds like Leland's got her own experience too. So that'd be
Yeah,
really
she's a little bit more quiet about what she went through, and I won't, say.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I said I don't want to get into the details unless they want to share some of that. But I
Yeah.
know, like I was amazed. Several 20 long time ago, 25 years ago now. I had an opportunity for, I don't remember why, but I got a picture of what goes on in Orange County in Southern California here with battered women. And I got to a little bit of a view inside the battered women's shelter. And I didn't go there, but I heard the story and some of the stories, and I was absolutely floored about that. In one of the nicest places on the planet that we have, and it was overflowing. That the battered women's shelter was like just completely booked, and they were sending women away. So it's like,
Oh,
it's a sad, but it's kind of hidden. People don't talk about it, and
right.
that's part of the problem. And I'm not, man. I don't want people to get uncomfortable and tell things that and get them in trouble, or get them to a point. If they're incognito and they don't want to be recognized, great. Don't get on the show. But if you,
Yeah.
but if you're willing to share some things, then I believe that your stories could help other people too.
Sure.
So that's really the goal.
Yeah.
So those are some things that I'm working on.
Yeah. My sister used to be one of those women that would go and pick up a lady in a domestic violence thing. She would pick them up, take them to, and meet somebody who would take them to a safe place. So yeah, she did that. Bless her heart. She had a heart for that. And I've been to the shelter here that we have, the home. They have a wonderful home. I'm up in Boise, by the way, Boise, Idaho.
Okay, yeah.
And they have a wonderful, wonderful group up here that I participated with. So I hear you on that. My heart's my heart's for that too. So that's awesome. I'll tune in. Did you give all of your? Do they know how to get a hold of you through everything, Jim? All of the stuff that you said. Your Instagram.
Yep.
Okay.
We're good. Thank you.
You're farther along than me.
Stuff up on social all the time. They're probably tired of hearing about it.
All right. I love your bold leadership stories. That's really great. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. I've got over 100 interviews now. So it's.
Oh, I'm going to go on and start listening to them. I didn't know you till we wrote this book. So
right. Well, that's one of the things I love. I've got now 17. I've got 16 more people to interview for my show.
Oh, okay. Well, keep me on your list for letting me know when you're going to have a show, and I can tune in and do it.
Well, I made a note to have you on my other show, the Wealthy Healthy Life show with Leland.
Yeah. That would be great.
You guys would be open to having a chat.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very open to that. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I guess we'll see you December 3rd.
December 3rd. Yeah.
Is there a big party going on? A big meeting? I don't know much.
You're going to come out for that?
Keep December 3rd open, all of you Southern California people. There's going to be. Oh, you like Boise? Bob, do you like Boise? It's wonderful up here. It's so nice. And
my daughter and her husband and my granddaughter are moving to Boise area.
When are they moving?
November 1st, coming up in a few days.
Oh,
and I'm awesome. Really sad. I'm like, well.
You're going to miss them. Well, you have a good place to come and visit, Jim. Maybe when you come up here live, I get to meet you live.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
That would be wonderful. We'll go have a chat. We'll have coffee and chat. Can we do that? Coffee and have a chat.
Fantastic.
That would be wonderful. So
love it.
Yeah. And December 3rd, there's a big party coming up and for Trajectory. And I'm sure I'm sure Jim's going to keep you aware of it so that you guys can all come. Those of you who live in Southern California. You lived in Meridian for a year, Bob? Well, I'll be. What year? Have you seen Meridian? It has grown. We call Meridian Little California. Yeah, everybody escaped to Meridian from California.
Is that close to Nampa?
Yes, it's between Nampa and Meridian's between Nampa and Boise. It's like there's Boise, Meridian, and then Nampa. Who do you know in Nampa?
That's where my daughter's moving. She's going there. I might be Meridian. She's moving to. I'm not sure. I don't remember the city. I'm kind of mentally trying to avoid that whole thing happening because I like them being here because I can go see them. But
yeah, that's why we moved here, because we got 2 here and 1 in Portland, so it was closer to be here.
Yeah, good.
But it's great. We love it. We're happy.
Yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time up in that area.
Yeah.
Time in Boise, and then also was up in Coeur d'Alene, Spokane. Lisa was born in Spokane, so.
Oh, I love Spokane. That's one of my favorite cities.
Northern Idaho.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene is beautiful. Everybody ought to get to Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I spent a summer in a little town called. It was a little place called Grimy Gulch. No lie.
Is that the real name, Jim? Is that really the name of it?
Grimy Gulch, Idaho, and it was right near Weiser.
Oh, I know Weiser. I know Weiser.
Yeah, that was the big city. We'd go into town. They had the.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look up Grimy Gulch on the map because I'm thinking it might be gone by now, but Weiser.
Might be. There was an actual sign. I wish I'd had a camera. I didn't take a picture of it. But Grimy Gulch, Idaho.
Grimy Gulch. Oh my gosh, that's a first one for me. Okay, that's a first one. So.
Yeah, Bob was there. Bob was in Meridian from 2019 to 2020.
To 2020. Oh, Bob, you come on back up and see what it looks like now. Forget the fields. There's
like California
no more farms, Bob. You're not in the country anymore in Meridian. Oh, and everybody was so happy. We got a in and out this year in Meridian.
Population, what? About 100 grand now, 100,000
in Meridian.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that way all yet, but close. Boise itself is only about 150.
What?
But, yeah, I think so. I thought it's not. Yeah.
That's pretty small. It's got to be more than that.
Maybe there's more. Maybe I'm going on an old.
We'll have to look that up.
Somebody out there.
Not like.
Let us know.
Temecula Valley's got probably 300,000 by now.
The census is, since I'm like not quite with it. So
it's okay. You don't have to be. You're out of that game. You're just in the time to enjoy.
You know what? We're actually still licensed in California. So Richard's still the broker, and I am still a licensed agent, and so we can sell there. We can do referrals back and forth, and it's a good thing. Our assistant we had for 10 years took over a database, and when we go back, we go visit, see relationships, Bob, Jim. It's where Bob's on there too, Jim. Yeah. It's relationships. So when we go back to California, we make lunches, breakfast, dinners, and we see clients that turned into friends. And it's a good thing. So we still have those relationships going, and I wanted to make sure, even though we left, they were being taken care of. So
excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, but I think we've done our hour. I don't want to bore your people.
Yeah, no, it's not boring at all. It's just great. Thank you. And yeah, we should probably wrap it up, but it goes so fast.
Well, thank you for asking me to come. I appreciate it. And I look forward to
pleasure.
Seeing you. I'm going to see you again, maybe on streaming, and then eventually I'm going to meet you live.
Yes, we're going to meet live. That's a guarantee at some point. So yeah, and encourage everybody to pick up 2 copies of Trajectory Volume 1. 17 stories and ideas that can elevate the trajectory of your life.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
it's on Amazon. And get one for yourself and buy one to give away.
That's right. That's right.
So, well, thank you so much again. And Jana, it was a pleasure meeting you virtually today. And
You too, Jim.
hang on a bit afterwards. I'm going to end the stream, so we'll say goodbye and hang on just for just a bit if you can.
Okay.